And just like that, we are live. And I expect you are watching this today instead of going out on your lunch break because it's an absolutely miserable day outside. Hello, welcome to Scaled Up Stories, a Digital Beans live and a podcast, which is available through all the different podcast channels. So if you are watching this, go and check out Scale Up Diaries and the Scale Up podcast. You can check out our link tree in the description a little bit later on. And also, of course, if you're not there, you can come and watch these shows live every Tuesday. Just go to linkedin.com/Digital Beans UK. So this is slightly different to the Scale Up Diaries podcast that we do. This is Scale Up Stories. This is where me, Ben, I talk to business owners from around the Southeast, learning how some of the most well-known local businesses have got to where they are today. We've had some great guests on, and today's no different. Laura Bounds, the founder of Kent Crisps and Kentish Oils and Kentish Condiments, is with me today. Laura, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
It is miserable out there today, isn't it? We was just saying that off air.
I know.
What a better way to spend a lunch break.
Autumn is definitely here, so.
Yeah, it certainly is here. And actually all my running routes, which are usually nice and flat and all usually all good, are now just muddy puddles. So I'm having to deal with that now, which is great. But that's about me. This is all about you, this podcast. I can't wait to learn more about such a, and this is obviously a compliment to yourself and your team, such an established brand here in our local county. So for someone out there who doesn't know about Kent Crisps and Kentish Oils and Kentish Condiments, can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Yeah, of course. So Kent Crisps is basically a traditional hand-cooked British crisp. So it is in the hand-cooked crisp sector, and the kind of USP for the brand is that we are focused on tourism and destination to promote Kent as a county internationally and in the UK, and some of the amazing destinations that we've got here, but also the producers that we've got here making incredible products like cheese and things like that. So we use the real ingredients into our flavorings, so it creates these amazing really different mouth-watering flavors for our crisps. So that's a bit about Kent Crisps. And then Kentish Condiments and Kentish Oils is we are rapeseed oil producers, so we grow, press and bottle cold pressed rapeseed oil, and out of the cold pressed rapeseed oil we sell that into lots of different establishments, so whether it's food service like restaurants or retailers or into ingredients manufacturers, so it's a really good quality rapeseed oil. And then from that, we also make a range of condiments, so really high quality, rich mayonnaise and salad dressings and all sorts of dips and things like that.
I think what's amazing about your brands is you know, obviously you say you're from Kent straight off the tin, but you really do embody the local county, whether it's your production or, like you said, they're bringing exposure to tourist hotspots across the county on your crisp packets. Why is it so important for you to embody the local county?
I think I'm Kent born and bred, so I'm obviously extremely passionate about my county. But I think it's a bigger picture than that. I think the last 10 years since I've been in the food and drink industry, I have become quite aware of the importance of the local economy and how supporting local businesses is so critical, especially even now more so than ever. And I think for me, having a brand that can gain further exposure through a front of packet is just an incredible opportunity, and is so powerful. So for me, it's about creating a brand and collaborating with other businesses, and you can do that in any business and marketing and joint collaboration, but for our business we can do that by putting a beautiful image of the Kent countryside on the front of a packet. We can do that by using a local cheese, we can do that using a local wine and we can do so much, and ultimately it's more than just buying a bag of crisps. And I think that for us is the really powerful part of it, that we've got a food product that's on shelf, but it embodies so much more than that.
I think whenever I think about Kent Crisps in my head and I'm thinking about the packaging, it's always, for me, I don't know, everyone's got a different opinion depending on what flavour you love. It's the image of the turner. Contemporary always is the one that comes to my mind. I don't suppose you could hit on maybe the other different collaborations you've got when it comes to the production side of things, but also some of the other touristy destinations and destinations in Kent, not just tourism, that are on your packaging as well, and those collaborations.
We've got quite a few. We've got some upcoming ones. We've got some that have been kind of in place since the very start, and some that I very much focused on collaboration. So the most recent has been, obviously, as you mentioned, the Turner Contemporary in Margate, and that was to support the Turner Prize coming to Kent, which was an outstanding accolade for Kent to have the Turner Prize coming to Kent. And what an event that was last year. So we had that, and that has the longevity to promote the Turner for the future. We had Leeds Castle, so we've got a collaboration with Leeds Castle, and that was solely focused at the time for their 900th anniversary, which is amazing. So we had that in place, but again, we're keeping that on pack because it's such an amazing destination in Kent. And then we've got the likes of, we've got some Oast houses, which are from Kent Life Museum. We've got the beach huts in Sea Salter, which are just stunning. And we've kind of got every landscape. We've got the coast, so we've got Dover and the White Cliffs of Dover. So lots of destinations, and some you can visit, and some you can view on walks and things like that. So.
Yeah, definitely. It's just amazing. I want to use the word like artistry. I think like the way they look on the crisp packets makes them stand out. It makes you feel a part of being local and supporting a local business. But not just that, they're amazing crisps as well. Like they taste incredible. They are very good. And
to be honest with you, all of the lovely destination and the producer and the flavor profiles and all of that thing we develop, nothing would be good unless the product was exceptional, and that is what it is. So we're not just promoting a county and have got a quirky postcard product. It's actually about having a really, really good quality product, which it is. So and for us, it's about international exposure as well, so we export all over the world. But it's not just about having a county brand. I think no. I've never wanted to pigeonhole us as a county brand. It's something that, some people still position us as that, and I think that's the wrong view of it. It's an international brand. It's about creating a product that can compete with any of my competitors internationally because it's good quality, it hits the price point, but ultimately it is promoting something that no other crisp does, and that is actually a destination or an economy. So
yeah, 100%. And I want to come on and talk about your story in a minute, Laura. But before I do, just hearing you there talking about the product, I could sense the pride from you. Like you're openly saying there, that you're proud with how your product tastes and how it is and how it's consumed by the end user. So tell us a little bit about the hard work that went into getting where you are now with your product. How, I suppose in black and white, the question is, how do you make such tasty crisps? How is that even possible?
Well, I think it's, we've got to ensure that all the way through our business is 10 years old next year. It's our 10-year anniversary next year.
Congratulations. So, ours is this year. Ours is this month.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I'm thinking about how do we do something quite good next year, because we've had such an awful year this year. So we need to celebrate in every possible way next year.
100%.
And our 10-year anniversary certainly will do that. And I think the brand in itself and the product in itself has come on a journey. I mean, it hasn't always been as great as it was. We've made mistakes. We've learned. We have got 10 years worth of experience behind our belts, and we know what not to do and we know what to do. And when we create new flavors now, we know what works, we know what's right. And we need to make sure that our fan base and our consumers are enjoying our product and forevermore, and keep developing new flavors that are awesome and taste amazing and do everything that the business wants to do with them. So yeah, we've made mistakes, and it ultimately it's about having a good base. So we use red tractor potatoes, making sure they're good quality British potatoes. making sure that they're not too oily, making sure that the flavor profile is strong, so the seasoning is strong enough. No one wants to pick up a bag of crisps and it tastes of nothing. You know, you don't want to sit in a pub with your beer and have a packet of crisps. It's just tasteless. Like, ours are about having strong flavors, and we do have stronger flavors than most. I mean, just to give you a bit of boring industry gumph, I mean, the standard percentage seasoning on a crisp is 6-7%. I mean, some of ours are 8-9%. You know, we really do add the flavor on, make sure it is strong, because it's something that we believe should be on a crisp. They
Yes,
actually
100%.
taste like product. So
yeah, 100%. And I just wanted to hit on something you said there, Laura, about, you know, having 10 years of experience. And we've been recording some podcasts recently with our MD Pip, and he's been talking quite openly about those hurdles he's overcome over the past 10 years, and has hit on a couple of important points to do with the business and ideas that he thought were going to be amazing. And he was so confident in them. And unfortunately, they just didn't work. And I suppose with you and your business, you must have trialed flavors and different flavorings before and thought, do you know what, this is the one. This is going to be something different. It's really going to work for us. And it just, for whatever reason, happened. Have you got any examples of potentially that's happened, or have you got any hurdles that you're open to talk about?
I haven't launched anything that's flopped, like flavor wise. Because the journey of creating a new flavor is really expensive as well. So
Of course, yeah.
We can't just come up with, I don't know, a baked bean flavored crisp and go, oh, we're going to do the next best thing, and then launch it, and then it doesn't go that well. In reality, we would develop flavors and go through panels and make sure that they work, and do consumer analysis and make sure that that market research is there to back up that it's going to work. I wouldn't launch something that was going to flop. Like, I think I'd know early enough. But I have got the odd flavour still in my range at the moment that isn't the greatest, and I know that we can do better. So I have got some quite exciting new product development in the pipeline for next year. So there's some exciting flavours to come, and there's definitely more to be done with our range, definitely. So that's quite exciting.
Talking there about the product analysis and how you go through the so to speak, the feedback to launching something new or potentially launching something new. Has that process always been there, or is that something you've refined over time? Because obviously with more experience, you can refine that process even more and get an even better, so to speak, opinion and result out of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think the early days, I wasn't, and then we'll talk about my story. I mean, I wasn't involved in the original flavors. I wasn't the original founder of the business. So in my ownership, I think we've done it in probably a different way to originally how the flavors were created. So for me, it's about, we have refined it, but I trust my team around me. So the team are, like, it doesn't matter which department they work in, the team are really, really valuable. And I get them involved with every step of the MPD process, because it's our business. We're working together. We've all got the same goal, and all of my team have been with me from day dot pretty much. So they are all very invested in the business. So they are very important, and the consumers are very important. So when we are trialing new flavors, we make sure that our consumers are trying them, that they're giving feedback, that our buyers and our customers are trying them. So we get quite a lot of feedback from that. But yeah, I would say we haven't refined it so much, as in we've got our own way of doing it and it works for us. So
yeah, that's good though. And again, that comes with experience, doesn't it? And amazing to hear, by the way, you've still got such a close-knit team 10 years on. That's incredible. That's great. It just shows how everyone's been on the journey and the passion behind the brand as well, which I think is great. And you sort of hit on it there. Your story, Laura, you know, obviously you didn't start off with the business, did you? And obviously you've come a long way to get to where you are now. So I suppose, what's the summary of your story? How did you come to owning Kent Crisps and now also Kentish Oils and Kentish Condiments too?
So I left university and basically decided that I wanted to go into marketing after studying sociology, which obviously everyone does, because you just, you know
Why not?
At all. Why not? So I was really quite interested in marketing and sales, and I looked for jobs and applied everywhere, and I ended up getting a job in the food and drink industry in Kent, just completely on an off chance. And that really started my passion for local food and drink to an enormous degree. I mean, I became completely invested for the cause. And this was 12, 13 years ago. This is in a time where buying local was only just starting. And actually, I was one of the people who was probably the most passionate back in day dot about provenance and about sustainability and about food miles. So I started in the food and drink industry, and I was one of the first companies that I worked for who bought Ken Crisp when they launched in 2011. So I was actually a customer. And I thought the product was great. I've been buying rapeseed oil for some time through the business, and I thought it was fantastic. Got to know the business and the founders, and completely understood their kind of view on what the brand should be. And there was an opportunity to move over to them a couple of years later, and I made it very clear that I was very keen to move over to the business, and if there was an opportunity there, I would take it. And I did, and I took whatever job they were willing to offer. Really, I just kind of, I guess I've learned over the years of my career that identifying opportunity is a key to success. It's not about necessarily, it's about hard work, but also identifying good opportunities, and that's certainly what I did in this case. I moved over to the business and started off doing a bit of sales, really. Within 6 months, I think I was running the ops, the recruiting, restructuring, and yeah, that was the end of that. So a couple of years later, I think I was commercial manager, or maybe commercial director, and there was a management buyout that happened with my ex-business partner, and she kind of bought the business. A couple of years later, I went for a management buyout again. So there was 2 management buyouts in my time. And I just worked my way up and worked hard, and just ended up just absolutely dedicated and in love with the business and the brand and the people. So that was it really for me. So that was where it got me. Well, I think it was 2017 that I completed on the business. So yeah, it's been a few years now.
That's an amazing story, because as you said, you fell in love with the brand, with the business, with the product, everything about it. You fell in love with it. So how did it feel becoming the owner of this business that you're madly in love with?
I think, to be honest with you, because I've been running it on my own really anyway with the team, it was just a legal thing more than an actual, change. But I am ever so proud of what we've created, and ever so proud of what we've done with the business. And it hasn't been easy. I mean, they say if it was easy, everyone would do it. But good God, that is so true. I mean, it's been a whirlwind, and it's been, we've had to fight the storms and, stabilize the ship almost, many a times. But where we are now, even through, this last 12 months, which has been so crippling for businesses, it has just led me to just be even more proud of what we've established, because we've got such a great business and something that people really believe in. And yeah, that's a great sense of pride. So.
And by the sounds of it, obviously you go into work and you've got the same people there backing you, and they're passionate about what they're doing. And obviously when you've got a solid team of people behind you, that's obviously something that helps along the way, doesn't it? So how has the business evolved over the past couple of years? You say you completed the takeover around 2017, so 3-4 years. What for you has been one of the biggest change maybe you've incorporated over the past 5 years in the business, and sort of, in terms of, you say next year's 10 years, so you're introducing potentially some new flavors and some new product in the pipeline. What's your biggest win, would you say, to date?
I mean, I think there's so many wins, and I think you can get very in business, and a lot of people like this, but I'm terrible for it, is I'm always striving for the next goal, nothing is ever good enough, ever. And I'm an absolute perfectionist, and nothing is ever quite good enough. So it's really important that we do always look back and go, okay, that was amazing achievement, that was great, and actually credit ourselves for that. But we don't often do it, and we do have to force ourselves to do that. But I think that's just pretty standard for most ambitious entrepreneurs or business owners. I think that's just standard. But for us, there's several things. I think I'm hugely proud of the team that we've created, because that doesn't come easy. I own several businesses, and it's hard to create a solid team that are all having the same vision and same goal and same ambition and support each other to do that. So I think that is a big achievement. I think the brand itself, the fact that we are an international brand now, that we are exporting all over the world, I never in a million years thought that we would be selling Kent crisps in Hong Kong or USA or, you know, Australia. I never believed that was a potential when I was 22 years old and starting out. But actually now, you know, I'm even more ambitious. So I want to, instead of exporting to 11 countries, I want to be exporting to 20 countries. So that's just, you know, a strategy that we will continue to kind of evolve with. We are particularly proud of some of our success stories around some of our collaborations and partnerships. So like we mentioned, the Turner and Leeds Castle, I think they're great attributes, and also show how much the brand has come along, that companies and, you know, charities and people like that want to be involved with our brand, because, you know, 10 years ago they wouldn't have done that, and now people are coming to me and saying, look, could we do a collaboration here? Could we do something with the businesses? And that, I think, is something to be very proud of as well. So there's several things on all different levels.
I think it's amazing, Laura, because we've been chatting for 21 minutes exactly now, and I've asked questions about you as a business owner, and I've used the term "you" quite a lot, and you've spoken so open and honestly and passionately about your team, and not ever have you used, I don't think, at one point in this call or in this chat, the word or the letter I. Everything has been we, which I think is the biggest compliment I can pay you. It's so humbling, because like you say, you can't sit back and you can't, you know, as a business owner, and I had this same chat with Pip as well, again, our managing director, and he says, I can't sit back and go, look at what I've achieved this year, because in my head, it's like, no, this is what I want to achieve next year. And this is what I want to achieve over the next couple of months. And I think what's great is you're bringing it back to a position where it's like, us as a team, we're going out and we're achieving this all together, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and I couldn't, you know, anyone who's, you know, who views that their business is derived from their own, you know, hard work is deluded. I mean, you know, a business only gets where it is through, okay, good management maybe and good leadership, but ultimately a cracking team behind you, who's singing off the same hymn sheet. And we're, you know, that is, to me, my biggest asset. My biggest asset in our business is the people around me, and we're a small team. And, you know, if you're talking about scaling up, which obviously this primarily is about, you know, there's no better model for scaling up in the model that we've got. We've created a team where they want to work harder, they want to be leaner, they you know, we don't need to recruit 20 odd people to do what we do. We need to just get leaner and faster and more efficient. And we grow on the back of that. And, you know, that's why a team is so important, because we can grow and we can scale up, and we are scaling up. We grew, you know, we grew year on year 30%, 22%, like we're growing year on year at great guns, but yet we're not having to, you know, invest hugely in we have taken people on, of course, but, you know, we don't have to reinvest in whole new, you know, structures and whole new hierarchies, because the team that I had from day one are the team that's grown into the business it is today. And we're just lean, and in a time like coronavirus and what's happened in the economy recently, that has been critical for us, absolutely critical. That's how we modeled the business. So
no, that's amazing to hear, and we reflect that. We're exactly the same. We're on exactly the same path as you, and that's how we feel about it as well. You know, we if we really wanted to, you know, we could go and pitch for every single digital marketing, you know, tenure that's out there, and, you know, and try and get X contract and Y contract. But for us, you know, that's not what we're about. We provide a personal service to people, and we would rather have, you know, 10, 15, 20 passionate people working here for this business than having 50, 60 and being a so to speak, a well-oiled machine. Obviously, we've got to do things correctly. Yes, we do. But if everyone's willing to work hard and everyone's passionate about the brand, and there's opportunities to scale. And like you say, it's scaling sustainably, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think every business owner is different in terms of their ambitions of scaling up. And, you know, I won the the Growth Award and Businesswoman of the Year last year. So, it's obvious that we are doing something well, but, I have no ambition to grow at, a rate of knots. I just want to grow sustainably to ensure that we're doing everything right. We've got a fantastic business that is, doing well. And I don't think that necessarily needs to be based on greed or huge ambitions for turnover and not the profitability side of things. I think it needs to be a balance. So, yeah, everyone's different, aren't they? So.
Yeah, 100%. And we've had, completely different views and thoughts and conversations with people on this show already on podcasts. And I think that's what's great. You get to meet so many different business owners who are in different stages of their businesses, and it's great. And hearing these stories is perfect. I want to hit on a couple final questions, or if that's all right with you. And the first of the two is obviously, as a business, you're very, very much trade focused. Have you explored where you might go if you looked into utilizing e-commerce or digital? I mean, I see Kentish oils and Kentish condiments out quite a lot when there was obviously loads of food exhibits and food shows and bits and pieces like that. But have you thought about where you'd go in this new digital world that's booming at the moment?
I think there's a lot of opportunity digitally. I think there's a whole realm of opportunities for new revenue streams in digital. I think that this, especially the last 6 months, and certainly online shopping and consumer trends is going to change, and I think is going to become actually more powerful more quickly. And I think that's something in the food and drink industry we need to be very aware of. The likes of Amazon have done, exceptionally well, haven't they, over the last 6 months? And we are a part of that. We do sell online on Amazon and things like that. But I think there's a whole new opportunity I'm hearing all the time about new startups, about who are. I was reading something yesterday about a startup who was competing with Amazon, who was going against Amazon to kind of offer this whole not food and drink, but other products online. And I do think that there is a whole opportunity for it. I don't think we're strong at the moment. And I think that is something that we need to certainly be looking at in the next 12 months, because I do think there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, it's a land of promise, but also I think because you've got, again, we're probably slightly guilty of this as well. There's obviously a lot of people shouting about the e-commerce boom. E-commerce can't work for everyone all the time. So that is, again, for a business like yourselves of your size and the way you're scaling and the way you're doing it sustainably, it's not like you can click a finger and go, right, build me an e-commerce store right now and let's start selling 50% more product online, because that isn't always sustainable, is it? So it's about trying to find a way to do it.
Well, isn't it? Like your supply chain, your op structure is so different and it isn't necessarily set up for e-commerce. Like we send out crisps in pallet loads, So then if we're starting to sell online, people start wanting mixed cases of crisps, and it's a very, very different proposition. And I think that's where, as a business, you've got to be quite careful. You've got to be able to be flexible and change how you do things. But you've also got to be doing it within the realms of what you have got as a setup already. So otherwise we'll be employing another 20 people in our warehouse to start packing orders for all the online orders we're going to get. So we've just got to be quite careful.
No, really, really good point. And we've spoken about the 10th birthday next year. Congratulations. That's going to be one hell of a celebration. Hopefully we can actually all be together by then.
Right.
But what's next? What's next for you guys? So what are the exciting plans for next year? Can you tease us with anything? Can you tell us anything?
Well, we've got a lot. Yeah, we've got 10-year anniversary. We've got new flavour. Certainly one new flavour launching. Another one potentially. We have got a couple of new outlets that we will be launching into. There's quite a lot on for next year, and obviously a lot that's been pushed back from this year as well. So it's been such a shame this year, because some of our plans have been a little bit scuppered. But we'll just make 2021 bigger and better. So.
100% onwards and upwards has got to be the phrase of the show for sure. And of course, Christmas coming up. Is that still an exciting time of year for you guys?
Yeah, it is. It's a great time of year. We're just busy making sure we've got enough crisps to supply everybody, and making sure that all of our. I don't think anyone really knows what's going to happen with Christmas. I've got customers who are really being cautious and under forecasting, and others that are like, no, it's going to be a great year for food and drink. So I think, the time will tell, won't it? So, but we're just prepping. And we're just making sure that there's enough crisps for everyone to eat at Christmas. So
love that. Laura, thank you so much for taking time out today and jumping on this with me. I know you guys are massively busy at the moment. Where can people go and find out more about Kent Crisps and obviously find more out about you and your story?
Yeah, so follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Kent Crisps, at Kentish Oils, and our website is www.kentcrisp.com. So,
Laura, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. If you're listening to this now as a podcast, make sure you subscribe. We've got loads more Scale Up stories coming, and of course, Scale Up Diaries with myself and Pip, where we talk openly about how Digital Beans is scaling. And also check us out on our social media at Digital Beans UK if you want to watch this show live with different business owners in the Southeast every Tuesday. Laura, once again, thank you, and bye for now.